In the beginning, Cain and Abel were two brothers living in the land of Nod after their parents, Adam and Eve, were expelled from the Garden of Eden. Cain was a farmer who cultivated the soil, while Abel was a shepherd who took care of sheep. One day, both brothers decided to offer sacrifices to God as an act of worship. Cain brought an offering of the fruits of his land, while Abel offered a lamb from his flock. Genesis 4:3-4 says, "In the course of time, Cain brought to the Lord an offering of the fruit of the ground, and Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat portions." God accepted Abel's sacrifice, but did not look favorably upon Cain's offering. This made Cain very angry, and his face fell, as described in Genesis 4:5. The Lord saw Cain's anger and warned him, saying, "Why are you angry, and why has your face fallen?" He urged Cain to master his sin and do what was right, saying in Genesis 4:7, "If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door." Despite the warning, Cain's jealousy and anger grew stronger. One day, Cain lured Abel out into the field and attacked him, killing him. Genesis 4:8 records, Cain rose up against his brother Abel and killed him. God immediately confronted Cain, asking where Abel was, to which Cain replied, "Am I my brother's keeper?" God then pronounced judgment on Cain for his crime, saying in Genesis 4:11-12, "Now you are cursed from the ground, which has opened its mouth to receive your brother's blood from your hand." Cain was condemned to wander the earth as a fugitive and a vagabond. Despite his punishment, God showed mercy by placing a mark on Cain to protect him from being slain by others. Genesis 4:15 states, "The Lord said to him, therefore, whoever kills Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold." Cain feared for his life, but God's mercy ensured his survival. Over time, Cain settled in the land of Nod and built a city, naming it after his son Enoch. Cain's story is a tragic tale of jealousy, anger, and the importance of offering one's best to God. It highlights how God values the heart behind the offering, not just the sacrifice itself. In Matthew 23:35, Jesus refers to Abel as a righteous who testified through his blood. The story reminds believers today of the importance of righteous conduct and humility before God. Cain's jealousy led to a terrible crime, showing how unchecked emotions can lead to destruction. God's reaction illustrates the seriousness with which he regards justice and innocence. Despite his guilt, Cain's story is also one of mercy, demonstrating that even the most sinful can find some reprieve. The narrative teaches that offering our best to God requires sincerity and humility. It warns us to guard against envy and anger, which can blind us to righteousness. Cain's tragic ending serves as a solemn reminder of the consequences of turning away from God's guidance. Throughout history, Cain and Abel's story has been a symbol of the ongoing struggle between good and evil. It continues to resonate as a lesson about the choices we make and their eternal implications. The story emphasizes that God cares deeply about the motives behind our actions. It also demonstrates that justice and mercy can coexist when we turn to God for forgiveness. Cain's life, marked by sin and remorse, encourages us to seek forgiveness and strive for righteousness. His story remains one of the most compelling lessons in the Bible about human nature and divine justice. Ultimately, Cain's story shows that God's love and justice are present even in our darkest moments. The tale encourages believers to reflect on their own hearts and motives when offering sacrifices to God. It reminds us that sincere devotion and humility are essential in our worship and daily lives. From Cain and Abel, we learn that our choices define us and impact not only ourselves but others as well. Their story is a timeless reminder to choose righteousness over envy and anger. As Genesis 4:16 concludes, Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod, illustrating the consequences of moral failure.